Okay. Who killed her? The evil is coming. Right, hello. Welcome to the review Rant Random for Fever Lake. Now, Fever Lake is got a podcast. I recorded that the other night. It's had a retro VHS, and it's going to have a review Rant Random, which is pretty cool because normally it's a VHS, it's a review, it's a podcast. It's never three together. So here we go. Not available on Laserdisc, so yeah, no Laserdisc coming. I watched this the other night for the first time in a while. I've owned it a few times. Check out the other videos if you want to see me fucking reminisce and bitch on about stuff. But Britt hadn't seen it, and Britt watched it in the other room last night, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So, it is a total Shinning at Friday the 13th. It is. Mm-hmm. It is a movie made at the time when Haim was just about to drop right off the radar. He had basically made stuff like Demolition High, which wasn't as big a hit as they thought it was going to be. Demolition High was pretty much under siege in a high school. At this point, Haim, how old would he be? He was 1996 and he was born in 1979. Was it 1979 he was born?
He would have been 48 this year, so take 23 off that.
Let's get the maths.
25?
25. Yeah, he's definitely not in high school. Okay, so he's not in high school, and he basically made this. He had a bit of a movie called Shooter on the side. He tried to make Demolition University, and basically the movie after Fever Lake was the movie when Corey Feldman had to sack him because he couldn't find Haim, and Corey Feldman was directing the movie. So he fell off the bandwagon and longed for hope for Universal Groove years later to have a bit of a comeback, but he never really got that. He made some really good films like American Sunset near the end of his life and his career. But Fever Lake was, I think this was the rock and roll for time for him, because basically his performance is quite good in it. He's very dark. It's the film that's a bit batshit crazy, as it is The Shining at Camp Crystal Lake or Fever Lake. No, it is. I mean, he's in the back. He's called Albert for a start. I mean, you look at Haim and you think, yeah, that guy's called Albert. Change his fucking name. You've got Steve, who's Mario Lopez. The guy's called Mario in real life. You need to look at people and go, right, what's his name? And this is, it's got no, does he look like a Steve?
He's up Saved by the Bell, isn't he?
Yeah, it's Slater from Steve. But no. Anyway, off that note, right, it's very limited cast in this, and the story is basically Albert is an orphan. And him, along with Slater from Saved by the Bell, a sex pest Jock who's about this big, 3 different girls all go to Albert's house in the lakes. It's in the lake just to chill out. There's a crazy Indian called Clear Springs walking around, who monologues a lot at the top of this, stares at fires, paints his face like Brave Star. Not Brave Star. He looks like Brave Star, paints his face like Braveheart. That's what I was trying to go for. Meanwhile, Bo Hopkins, who's the main star of this movie, is the sheriff who keeps having nightmares because Clear Springs is fucking putting stuff into his head. Right, so we get them driving there. We get them there for a while, yeah?
Yeah.
They have a little drive. They meet the sheriff on the way. The sheriff tells them, I don't want no shit here. Yes, definitely got that one from Friday the 13th, one of them. Don't be coming here and fucking around. They meet the locals. They all get stare at them.
And the girl from the diner.
The girl from the diner, she's like Crazy Ralph from Friday the 13th. Tick, cover that, checkbook, get the crazy person, or the person that said, don't fuck around in this thing. There was a murder. Right, anyway. So Haim, who decides to wear glasses in this movie, which the film crew did not realise that you might halfway through the movie pretend to see them in his reflection of his glasses, because they have a big fucking halogen light. Yeah, it's like, can you see that? Can you see the camera guy? Yeah. Tick, got that one right as well. Anyway. They get to the lake. I think Haim's performance in this is quite good. He's got that dark. He's got like, I'm not quite right, but he might just be messed off his face. I don't know. So anyway, they get to the lake. They get to the house. We get some weird camera movements. The score, I quite like the score.
Yeah.
We get this floating out of body experience going around the house.
Oh.
Aye. We get a woman coming up to the other woman going, "What are you looking at? The sunset?" And she's just like, "What is it?" All work and no play makes dull girls. I was like, right, that's a quote from The Shining. You want to stick that one in. Meanwhile, downstairs, some girl is starting to write a story. Then the story types right in front of her and she carries on the story. Oh, that's quite good. Did you not at one point think that's a bit freaky that the computer's just wrote a story for you? She's like, yeah, that sounds really good.
This is my story.
Yeah, we're clearing this one. Meanwhile, everyone's just like sort of chilling out, going in the lake. And then meanwhile, the girl who's telling them get the fuck out of fucking Dodge, she's walking the longest way home, you know, alone
through the woods
in a small town to fucking steal a car. Anyway, there's a wolf following her, and next thing you know, she gets murdered by Finn Air.
Yeah, literally. He literally, yeah. So
Now,
what am I watching?
Now Jill the dog, as I was watching when I was watching the podcast, the dog is called Jill.
Jill?
Jill the dog, right? It's a wolf, anyway.
Oh God, the wolf Jill.
Well, listen, you're gonna mess with this wolf. So she gets murdered, and like the copper comes, there's been a murder, and everyone's just like, ooh. Now, bearing in mind, they were all together, so it's like, ooh, who murdered her? Is it Crea Springs staring who's fucking fire? We just don't know. So anyway, it all culminates to like the night. So one of the girls goes upstairs, gets herself a little blanket, and thinks she's a fucking the mother. She starts freaking out.
I think she goes in the loft, doesn't she?
She goes in the loft, and the axe is still there. Now, I forgot to mention at the start of this movie, the start of the movie is the young boy is hiding up in the attic, and I don't know if you realise this, but the fucking grey ladders that are just there were clearly put there for the film. Because they fit nowhere in the house.
They don't go but they just stay there even though the loft hatch is back on.
Yeah, they just...
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, like, the guy comes in with an axe, and there's some really cool shots of feet and axe and stuff, and he fucking hacks his way through the door, and you never guess what he does. Yes, he does. He sticks his head right through the hole in the door. Get out of the face.
But it was so serious, but then you see his face, and he just looked like Bruce Campbell. I was like, I can't take this guy seriously.
Well, he looked like Jack Nicholson, yeah. So anyway, the kids in the attic witnesses his dad, and his dad knows he's in the attic. He got the curse pouring, his eyes go green, his eyes go green. So yeah, anyway, she's upstairs and the axe is there. So someone gets hacked to death for the murder, and the axe is just left upstairs fine. You know, did they not think to quarantine that, put it away, you know, used in a murder, eBayed. You know, it's the axe that killed these people.
Did you notice the terrible camera angle going up her dress as he was dragging her back in the house as well? Literally, you got a glimpse of everything, and I was like, Jesus, come on.
No, I didn't say that. But, and then again, it goes, right, Friday the 13th, what else can we borrow? What can we borrow from Twitch of the Deaf Nerve? Yes, you're right. The small jock gets the hotter girl out the free. He's down on a cinder block, and she's like, can you not fuck her in a more comfortable place? You've got the entire house, and he's fucking her on a cinder block in a pipe. Right, and guess what? The axe goes straight through him like Twitch of the Deaf Nerve. She sees it coming. She's like, "Oh my god, he's get! Oh yeah, axe dead."
Both of them.
Both of them. So out of what we had 6, we got 4. Meanwhile, Peekaboo Mario Lopez, also known as Steve, goes outside to spy on people, while Albert, Corey Haim, is kissing the other girl, while the other girl's in the attic. Steve's spying on them. Albert then decides just to fucking run away. So yeah, meanwhile Clear Springs is staring at the fire. The copper then goes shit. He shits the bed, gets up and goes, right, something's not right. He drives to fucking find out what's going on, right? He's walking through the woods. The fucking wolf's back, Jill the wolf, following him, and he's like... Next thing you know, he does this. And he goes flying down the hill, and you think, oh yeah, it's a ghost dog, isn't it? Next thing you know, he's getting up shooting at the dog, and you think, can he see the dog or can he not see the dog? The wolf. Meanwhile, we completely ruined this film anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, so meanwhile, you know, it's because I've done the podcast then this. So yeah, meanwhile, who we got? We got Steve is peekabooing in the fucking bushes. Then he's dead, just dead off camera. Like, yeah, get yourself back to Saved by the Bell. Finished dead on the floor. Then he gets then.
What happened to her that Corey Haim was kissing again?
She's the one that lives in it. No, she's that. No. Right, okay, so yeah, Haim returns. Fucking green eyes with a fucking axe. Yeah. He hacks her to death, doesn't he? He returns covered in blood. Meanwhile, the woman's upstairs, and then she turns into a fucking witch, then melts.
Oh, that was grim.
Meanwhile, Clear Springs is like looking after everyone by staring at the fire, getting fucking very serious.
Did you notice every time he came in the camera shot, he had a soundtrack? It was like this funky bit of music every time he came on the screen.
Then it's like basically pulls the whole Haim's like again, that's what people buy his movies for, and he didn't die, and he just stays to the back of the car like he's a right psycho.
That was
the copper doesn't make it there in time. You think the copper's going to make it. Clear Springs says you failed, and evil will return. But you know, dissing the movie as it is and like that, I generally think it was well made for how for what they had to do with it. The score is quite good. I think Haim's performance at the time, it's all right. He hasn't dialed it in. You know, he's kind of like going, I need this to work.
was just some dodgy camera work. Like one scene, they were all tucking into loads of food in the house, and then the next scene, it's like a black sky with a big moon. I was like,
well, that's it. They're going to the diner. Yeah, they're going to the diner, and it's like, right, and everyone's staring, and they sit down for an iced tea, and then it's dark outside, but when they go back out, it's light. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't notice that bit. But yeah, as I say, we'll see you in the outtakes. See you in the outtakes. Again, check out Retro VHS when I look at the artwork, and then check out the podcast that should be out when this comes out. I'll probably release them all three together. Make my life a little bit easier. It's fucking Fever Lake season. But yeah, the director's gone on to just produce some quite a lot of famous films as well. But yeah, if you get a hold of it, it has been released on DVD in the UK and on VHS. Pretty hard to come by, I'd imagine. But yeah, I've been Stephen Mason. This is Britbo. And I'll see you next time.
And now, the end is here.